Dogs have an increased awareness on picking up human social cues.
Humans have shaped dogs to our liking to better fulfill our needs in our lives.
Dogs have mechanisms for sensing human moods and for mirroring us.
They stand out more cognitively to humans because we relate to them on a higher social cognitive level than other species.
Dogs have evolved from wolves who relied on cooperation with each other to survive into animals who cooperate with humans to survive.
Ask any dog owner and they'll tell you. Their best friend seems to understand them in a way no other pet could. They comfort you when you're sad, they protect you when you're alone, and they're always down for a walk around the park.
Over 14,000 years ago, humans decided to domesticate dogs. We chose dogs due to their lack of aggression and fear towards humans.
Dogs evolved originally into working dogs such as herding dogs, hunting dogs, gradually leading them into being domesticated into family pets, such as man's best friend.
Having a more tame temperament around humans is the first requirement for more complex cognitive skills to be developed, such as cooperation. This is demonstrated through the Russian fox experiment.
Researchers selectively bred wild foxes on the single criterion of having reduced fear and aggression. After a couple of generations, foxes became as skilled at picking up human social cues as dogs, even though they were not explicitly bred to do so. Behaviorally, they were more domesticable in that they started wagging their tails, whimpering, and licking researchers. They were also more friendly and responsive to human interaction. Even more surprisingly, their physical attributes changed in that the foxes soon had floppy ears, shortened snouts, and higher levels of serotonin. Wild foxes, on the other hand, did not exhibit these same behaviors. This gives us insight into how this close bond between humans and dogs developed, resulting from their initial constrained fear and aggression.
Researchers tested the difference on how domesticated dogs and wolves vary in communication and understanding with humans. One study they did was raising wolf pups in individual homes from 10 days old and raising domesticated pups in individual homes to ensure they were with one specific caregiver during their critical periods as puppies to ensure equal treatment between the two species. Then, after the bonding and after they had grown, they tested how well each animal understood human cues by placing a piece of food on a shelf. The humans started by gazing and pointing, and then gazing, pointing, and doing audible tapping on the shelf with food to help the animal to discover where the food was at. After 30 trials, the dog could find the food with only one or two cues, where the wolves repeatedly did not understand the human cues and did not successfully find the food. This represents heightened ability for dogs to communicate with humans due to their cognitive changes over the past few centuries that wolves don't possess. The study concluded that even the most highly socialized wolves perform at much lower levels than domesticated dogs on pointing tasks, and crucially, they have shown no sign of understanding gaze in the sense of using it to find the target indicated.
This mode of communication of dogs' increased tendency to gaze at a human's face affects their oxytocin levels as well. This is a neurotransmitter release that promotes bonding. This happens when humans gaze into each other's eyes, but is something that is also shared between dogs and humans. In a study that measures the urinary levels of both dog and human before the experiment, the results showed that only after 30 minutes of gazing into one another's eyes, they both had a significant increase in their oxytocin levels.
This suggests that coevolution occurred after domestication, in which certain social cognitive abilities were selected for dogs' ancestors, turning them into man's best friend today. Another example of physical changes representing a communal tie between humans and dogs can be shown in their brains.
The difference in size between our brains versus dogs differs heavily, since dogs do not have the right amount of surface area to do the same complex thinking we do. However, in structure our brains are similar. This is shown when Attila Andix, an animal behaviorist from the University in Budapest, conducted an experiment with a team of 13 dogs. These dogs were trained to stay motionless while in an fMRI, giving the researchers an opportunity to see when certain parts of their brain are being activated. They noticed when spoken to in friendly and neutral tones using words they were familiar and unfamiliar with, the left hemisphere would be activated hearing the familiar words. This shows a sign of language recognition, similar to how we as humans process language. The researchers also found that receiving treats correlates to reward centers on both the left and right hemispheres of the brain. All of these qualities suggest language recognition runs in dogs on a much more deeper level than we thought.
All of these distinct qualities that arose in dogs after just a few centuries of domestication show how their cognitive thinking has developed. The modern dog brain and its cognitive developments compared to their wolf ancestors has allowed their lack of fear and aggression toward humans to develop into a successful relationship where they can work with humans side by side and communicate.